Alright y'all, Fat Man Outdoors, back with part 2 of the setup on the Lee lock and load press. So what the next setup is going to be on this is our mouth flaring station and repriming. So on the same run with the same cartridge, on the upstroke we're going to flare the mouth, on the downstroke we're going to reprime. I'm going to show you how we set that up, and we'll get to that right now. Alright, as you can see, I have a die just sitting here on top of the press that has a piece of tissue stuck down in the top of that. Now the reason being is that's what the manufacturer suggests you do. That way you know there's no powder going through that when you're doing what you're going to be doing next. Now I have the instructions here, and I'm going to read briefly to you. That it says to expand the case, screw the die in until it touches the shell holder, then back it out one full turn. For magnum cases, back out the expander die 1 1/4 turns. Finger tighten the lock ring and adjust the flare for your liking. Turning inward increases the flare for maximum case life. Flare only enough cause it to easily accept a bullet. In use, the expander plug travels approximately 3/8 inch within the die and comes up to an abrupt stop at the extractor. This helps to shake the powder through. However, we recommend you check to be sure all the powder has cleared the funnel and the expander plug. Now that's talking about, I don't know if you'll be able to see it too well, that's kind of what the manufacturer suggests for your setup, that you put a funnel on top of your expander die and you pour the powder in individually in each charge. Now you can do that, don't get me wrong, you can do that. It's going to be slow as smoke if you do that, okay? So what I recommend you do is you get you a powder measurer, something that's of top quality. I recommend the Lee powder measurer. It's going to work as good or better than anything that you're ever going to work with reloading. It's more accurate, it's more consistent, it's easier to maintain. You just have to you can watch a lot of videos online and read the manufacturer's information that comes with it and figure out how to work it. For that sort of stuff though, that'll be up to you all. Y'all already know I don't put powder in a case and show y'all how to do that because I don't want no part of that. Okay, but anyway, we're going to set up this neck expander and repriming station. So now we're going to raise the ram all the way up without a case. And we're going to hold the ram down and screw the die down until it touches the shell holder. Okay, I'm touching the shell holder. Alright, now it's another one of those wonky deals where they say turn the die out 1 turn, or for magnum cases 1 1/4 turn, yada yada yada. There's no markings on these dies to show you a start and stop point. So you are required to remember what you're turning to and from. I think that's a bad idea. I still think, and I hope somebody at Lee's listening to me, and that all the die manufacturers will make a reference mark. How much could it take to machine in a little dimple or just a little scribe line? Because these actual dies, they're not aluminum. You ain't gonna scribe one of those easy. They're hard. Now some of the retaining nuts are aluminum, so you can do that, but most of them ain't. Okay, especially if you get the higher end dies, they're not that way. But anyway, we're touching the shell holder, just touching it. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a reference of this flat spot right here on this retaining ring, and I'm gonna turn it until it comes around to where it was. Now that's 1 full turn. Now I'm going to hold the die, because now you can't raise the ram up and hit it because it still lacks a full turn of being down to touch it, and we backed it out. So now I'm going to tighten that up, finger tight, and I'm going to do something that we haven't done to this point yet. I'm going to remove my indexing rod. So you got to take out that die, or that die receiver, I guess you could call it. Okay, now that I've got that out, I'm going to lay it to the side. Alright, and I can just leave this screw-in adapter, I can just leave it out for the moment because we don't need it. And what happens when I take that out is, now whenever I raise the ram up and down, it won't index. My cases will still fall down, which I don't want it to do that, but as you can see, it doesn't turn. And the reason I want that is, I want it to stay in one position so that I can take a case and put it in there and I can try it, see how the flare is, and then if the flare is not enough, then I can adjust it and try it on that same case again until we get what we're looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go up all the way. I'm going to bring it down. They're 124 grain round nose lead powder coated bullets that I cast myself. Now I'm going to try that. Nope, not yet. It'll just barely go in there. Now it's not quite enough. So I'm going to go back in about a third of a turn. I'm going to take this same case. I'm going to go up all the way. I could feel it hit it just a little bit. Now I'm going to check it again. Not quite. Yeah, that's a little bit too much. Alright, got it just a little too much, so I'm going to back it out just about a half a turn and try that. Glad I had two cases laying here. Alright. Now that's about right. It gets almost up to that first driving band. I'm not expanding the case too far. It's got a good solid seat. Goes right in there no problem. Actually, I think I may turn it down about 1/8 of a turn. Now I'm going to tighten that ring up and I'm going to call that good. I'm going to pull one more case here that has not been expanded, and I'm going to put it in there. Expand it. Now you hear that audible pop. That's what I was talking about. That expander jumps off, and that's so it's supposed to make the powder drop out good. Oh yeah, we're just at the bottom of the crimping groove. That is real good right there. That's not putting too much pressure on our brass, not expanding our brass too much. It's giving our bullet ability, as you can see, to get a good straight seat, and won't be no problem setting those bullets. Alright, so now we got that die set up. You'll see this thing right here on mine that doesn't come with the setup that comes with the press and the dies you order. Just this little plug will come and it'll screw into the top of this. What this is an expander, and the reason I have to have that expander is because I use auto drum powder drop from Lee. Because if I don't, it's going to cause me an issue with this Lee auto prime, which I'm out to lunch still on this jewel. It works, okay, but it's kind of like cooking puffer fish. You have to be real careful how you do it, and you have to learn the feel to do it. Because if you don't, you're going to have primers laying everywhere. You're going to be putting them in upside down. It's going to frustrate you enough to throw it against the wall. Guilty. The setup is now complete for flaring the mouth of the case. Now the next step is to putting in our primer seater. And that's this strange looking contraption right here. And to do that, all we do is set it right in here, drop it in this little hole, and that's it. So now when you use the auto prime, which I'm probably not going to show how to set that up because you'd be better off to get that and deal with it on your own. I'll probably go ahead and prime all these cases after they come out of the tumbler, so that way I can look at the primer pockets and everything and just prime them with my hand primer while I'm watching TV or something like that, just to kill some time. You know, if I was going to try to sit down here one day and do 400 or 500 rounds, it'd probably be different, but you know, I'll do 100, 150, and that don't take too long on a hand primer. Or I can do them right on this station right here, because this primer, I don't know if you can see it come out right there. This little deal right here is what I'm talking about. You can see that come out right there with my fingers on. Well, your primer sets right in this little deal right here. And then when it goes back down to finish the cycle and the cartridge is coming down, it's being held in position by the shell plate. Well, that pushes upwards and pushes a little spring-loaded rod in there to push the primer up into the bottom of the case. You can do it either one and do each individual one, but to me it's just a little bit better if I prime them right after I get them out of the media, and that way I can inspect the cases then and there's no rush, and it gives me one less thing to have to look after. But now when I put the powder in them, I will use the Lee Auto Drum powder drop, but I won't show you how to set that up. Y'all want to get it. I'm telling you, if you want to run a reload and press, especially a progressive, I don't care if you've got or RCBS or whatever, get that Lee Auto Drum powder measure, because that thing is sweet, guys. It's the best one on the market, I'm telling you, and it's almost foolproof. You can do it very, very simply. So now that's going to be the end of this video. Hope to see you in the next one, which will be bullet seating. Hey y'all, if you don't mind, click subscribe, and if you like the video, and click the like button, and we appreciate every one of y'all, and hope to see you in the next video. It's the Fat Man. I'm gone.